how the hell are you?
Jack, I'm good. I'm really good. How about you? How are you?
Good. Well, it depends. It depends. Do I still got some money left?
Listen, I'm telling the same thing to all of my clients. This is a very volatile situation we have going on here in the market. The absolute best thing we can do is to just sit tight, relax, sit on our money.
Neil, stop. I'm not calling to yell at you, all right? Just want to find out how the hell you are.
You're not calling to yell at me?
Mm-mm.
Not even like a little bit?
No. You already moved my money to all around. I don't know where. You're a genius at that. I'm just asking, how the hell are you?
Frank Melamed and Barry Bostwick are so funny in this. There's just so many little nuances and little things that are happening in the writing, in the direction, there's just, I don't know, little glances, little things that normally you'd think would be hidden when you're doing a Zoom, and this film has brought those out. It's very funny. I love that Barry Bostwick is just sitting there drinking white wine from a stemless glass. That's hilarious. I love Fred's interpretation of the Inferno as a limericks. It's just really smart. It's really smart and very silly and very funny and exactly what we need for this time. So congratulations. It's fantastic.
I love the dialogue in Jack's Inferno. I think it did a really great job of establishing characters and sort of my expectations of what would happen next. And then I really liked the sort of surprising twist it took. I didn't see that coming, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really great way of using the medium of a Zoom call to tell a really interesting story. And I just thought that was really great. And the acting and dialogue were wonderful.
I really enjoyed this short. So many just great twists and turns. And yeah, it was really funny ending. I thought there was a great payoff. The practical joke bit I did not see coming. And then just even as simple as the last line is about wanting to hear another limerick and just being like, no, was really funny.
So I absolutely loved watching Jack's Inferno. The dialogue felt so realistic, and I thought it was just very smart comedy writing. And I really just felt like I was actually sitting in on this meeting between financial advisor and client. And I thought the actors made such a great use of this medium, like the Zoom kind of platform. And they were still super entertaining despite being confined to that, little Zoom box. And there was a lot of great characterization that came out in their portrayal of the characters. And I really liked kind of the twist ending with the joke, the practical joke kind of arc. I thought that was super smart and funny. And overall, it was just kind of a great little snapshot into like what pandemic life was like, back in 2020. So overall, great job.
I liked the story behind Jack's Inferno. I thought it was a really interesting idea, and it's totally relatable for people who have gone through the pandemic and have started a new hobby. And when we're all sitting here in quarantine, we don't really have anyone to bounce our ideas off of, so we can kind of run away with things and get a little crazy. And so this is a moment where this professional accountant or broker is sharing his art for the first time, and it creates a lot of funny moments. They managed to do a lot with this Skype setup, and this was the first short of this series that I got to watch. And it sets up a lot of really funny situations for later on in the series, and also is just a very funny interaction between two very different men who have dealt with the pandemic in very different ways.
So I actually had to read Dante's Inferno my senior year of high school, which is going back a few years, but seeing somebody like just the concept of like trying to translate that into like limericks is hilarious right off the bat. And then having this conversation with like your financial planner, and like even if he was just calling in to like check on how he's doing, and then suddenly he finds himself in a conversation about like Italian poetry about hell and the circles of hell, is just like that level of bizarre that can be achieved when you're in the middle of a pandemic and can be really well done from like a comedy standpoint. And so I thought like the whole thing was really great. I loved it all the way up till like the very end when he's talking about like the circles of hell, and I was like, okay, so he's like playing a joke on him, is when like I finally got that. I was like, oh, so he didn't like completely, I wouldn't say ruin this guy's life, but he didn't, you know, do what he actually, you know, thought he did. So I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a fun kind of like twist and take of like what people call like classic comedy, or like people have referred to Dante's Inferno as comedy and things like that. And, you know, taking that and trying to update it and bring it back to life into this world.
It's definitely very interesting. It definitely shows how we can, even though we're in the midst of a lockdown, or more specifically a global pandemic, all that means is that we just have to be more creative in the approach that we tell our stories. Because obviously this film took place amidst the lockdown, very much during the initial beginning of the pandemic. And I was able to craft everything into a fairly comedic story, where the entire premise was comedy, all different shapes and forms, and it definitely got me at the end, especially when, you know, he's pulling the guy's leg. He's like, all right, now you want to hear another of my of the Dante jokes? And he's like, no, I'll pass. After going through all that, I was kind of hoping it was just like, so my money's safe, right? He's just like, no. But all in all, it was definitely very fun to watch.